A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is 23rd October 2025, Thursday class. As usual, we will be continuing our sharing from this Heart Sutra book, second edition of ours. We are at page 177. Lesson 35. Okay, as usual, we will be having our physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the saddha, virya, then mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 阿弥陀佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 弥勒佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majjapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Padang Pujami. Dhammang Puja. Sanghang Puja. Relax, maintain awareness, and silence everything. Yeah. When you do that, your mind will do away with the heedless thinking. You will just be in a state of natural, relaxed state of awareness before the arising of thought, before the thinking arise, before the mundane stirring or activity. The mundane thinking is the result of ignorance, avidya. If there is no avidya, there is no thinking. Basically, yeah. And most people, because they lack Dhamma understanding and wisdom, their mind think a lot. They are very heedless. They cannot develop the inner awareness. So this awareness-based meditation is to help us, help the cultivator of the way to develop the stability of this inner awareness so that you can be with your true mind all the time, so that you can live from your nature, the pure awareness nature within. And whatever that manifests from there is all dependent, originating mind state, not real. They have the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Empty nature, existence, no reality. To realize the truth and to understand the real Dhamma is to have this silent mind within. To be heedful means it is trained to be ever mindful, that constantly meditative within. If you cannot develop this inner awareness, stability, then you don't stand a chance to realize the true Dhamma. That's why awareness-based meditation is very important. So just make full use of the half an hour, relax body and mind completely. When you are just relaxed without thought, it is very beautiful. Your mind is tranquil and still. But as a human being, with a physical body, with the senses and the consciousness trapped inside, there is this tendency of mental contact with the sense bases when the sense data imprint upon them. And the skill in developing the wisdom or the meditative understanding is to understand what happened after this sense data make contact with our sense bases, then how the consciousness that is trapped inside intermingle with it to arise the sense door consciousness. That's why upon contact, what happened? That is meditation. You can be in a state of pure awareness to understand that. Then you will awaken. You will be able to see things as they are. You will be able to be with the moment in silent inner awareness, to observe the reality that manifests within nature. Every moment of conscious experience is a movement from that nature. When you understand that, then you will understand you have two minds. One is the true mind, that is the pure awareness nature, which is always ever shining ever manifesting. The other one is the creative aspect from there. The mundane thinking, activity, stirring and movement, which we call the thought process. The mundane thinking, mundane mind, sankara activity. And if you have this stability of mindfulness to observe, then you will understand clearly what is this five aggregate of form and mind all about. And through this you will understand clearly who are you, what are you, and what is this human being all about. It's empty nature, their universal characteristics. That's why the five aggregates of form and mind, they have the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha and anatta. No reality. They are just dependent originating phenomena arising and pass away, exhibiting the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha and anatta all the time. So if you can silence your mind to develop the understanding of all this, then your nature will develop the wisdom, the understanding and the awakening. And this is how the pure awareness-based meditation develops the wisdom, the realization and awakening. Okay, with that, I let you meditate on your own. I will set the alarm for 30 minutes. You can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states that can make you heedful throughout the day. And the basis of heedfulness is very important. You can be heedful throughout the day, means you are constantly aware, ever mindful, constantly aware, and constantly developing the meditative understanding to see things as they are, to realize the truth, to understand clearly what is going on within life and existence. What is the mundane thinking all about? What is the mundane manifestation all about? All these are the deeper understanding that the form and mind can develop as realization. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chiyakawalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakkamokkadang Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Svanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanang Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanaiko Pachyatang veditabo vinohiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Nyayapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Ahuniyo Pahuniyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated. We will continue from where we stop. So this part is regarding the cultivation. So I always stress in cultivation, we should thank those people who are not so friendly and constantly make things difficult for us, because they are the ones that can make us wise or can give us the conditions to test our cultivation, our understanding. Hence, we should perceive them with wholesomeness and wisdom. We are accepting them as they are, then expressing our gratitude towards them. Then great compassion will arise naturally in our mind. And this can happen because when we understand that each and every one of us, each and every one phenomenal, everything that manifests and arises, they are causes and conditions needed for all this to happen. Yeah. That's why when you understand, then you know one is all is one. So without all these people, whether they are unfriendly, nasty, difficult people, or even you look at the world, because the world is the world, people are just the way they are. They are rich and poor, intelligent, smart and stupid, or deluded. But because of all this, then our world can be what it is today. So whether you are wealthy, you are wise, smart or whatever, you are also dependent on all this. So when you understand that one is all is one, then there is no delusion in trying to discriminate through the mundane thinking, through thought, which is not a reality. Then when you penetrate deeper, he know you, he know me. That's why all this mind state, whether it's great compassion or what, whether it's gratitude, kindness, virtue, joy, happiness and understanding, they manifest dependent on your understanding. But most people hold on to unhappy things, develop negativity of mind state. You can say they lack love, they lack compassion, but the main thing is they lack wisdom, the Dhamma. Then they deludedly grasp, cling and hold. They got preference. So all this, when you develop the real cultivation, you will see it differently and you will understand it very deeply, profoundly. That's why when you have that understanding, then your mind state is different, because all this happened for a reason. They are the ones who can give us the causes and conditions to develop wisdom, to test our understanding. Hence, when we have that understanding, then we can perceive them with wholesomeness and wisdom. We are accepting everything as they are, then expressing our great joy, gratitude towards them. Then great compassion and love will naturally arise within our mind states, even though it's just a mundane manifestation. But there is such thing as life existence. Then the way to free our mind or to develop the wisdom is do not perceive any life situation with negativity. For the absence of negativity is good. So when you don't perceive anything as negativity or with negative approach, views, opinion and conditioning, then the world becomes beautiful. Then you understand why the Buddha said, thing is just the way it is. No right, no wrong, no positive, no negative. So when you perceive everything as beauty, love, and compassion, then the absence of negativity is wholesomeness, is good. So don't try to do good, because without wisdom one can end up becoming just a good-hearted fool, good according to you or your own views and opinion of things. So duality manifests when we don't have the wisdom. The unenlightened ones are so heedless, chasing and clinging after so many things in life. When you have the awakening, you see this very clearly. The unenlightened one are the Puja, the deluded one, or the heedless. That's why they think a lot, because they are so heedless, chasing and clinging after so many things in life. Then they develop unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation when things don't go their way, when they cannot get what they want. Then because of their delusion, they still grieve and worry about life most of the time, despite having so many things and possessions. For they lack wisdom, they lack contentment to live life. So this is very beautiful Dhamma when you understand. Then they don't understand the first noble truth of dukkha, which the Buddha has expounded so clearly as the 8 realities of life and existence. And this first noble truth of dukkha, the 8 reality, needs to be understood in order to understand life. Otherwise they can really make living beings, especially human beings, miserable. Without understanding the true Dhamma as taught by the Buddha, suffering will be the final result. So do strive on with heedfulness, and do not be heedless. For these are also the advice of the Buddha before his Parinibbana. Then for more detail, if you can, if you got the interest, you can listen to the recorded tape. Okay, before we go to the next session, maybe part 1 is very important, so you go back to the first page of part 1, 176. So here, this is supposed to be the vital summary for cultivation. So to develop the heedfulness needed to cultivate the meditation as taught by the Buddha, this is most important. Although this is only 2 or 3 pages, but the essence are there. The deep understanding of it can awaken living being. And with this essence, your cultivation will not deviate, and you will progress, and you will develop profound understanding. So, to really test your understanding, you should actually, after your cultivation, reflect, contemplate, and try to develop your own understanding. What have you developed as understanding after all these years of cultivation? Do you really understand life? Do you really understand what this universe is all about? The essence of the Buddha's teaching. Then finally, who are you? What are you? And how do you know the world? How do you interact with the world? And also, you will also have to reflect and contemplate deep into life. Having all this realization and awakening, have you understood life? Do you know how to live life? Then, understanding who are you, what are you, will liberate your mind. Because what we normally take as the me and the I, which is the human being, the 5 aggregate of form and mind, is not a real, permanent, unchanging entity that you can cling on to, grasp onto, hold on to, and say, this is me, this is I, therefore all this can be mine. No such thing. Then inquire deep into the thought, the consciousness, the creation, the manifestation. Then how all this interplay of understanding develops the real wisdom, the penetrative understanding of life. So this part which I want cultivator of the way or Kayamita to really develop is very important. That's why I remember when I was doing the sharing, that time I already have all this understanding. Then through the deep contemplation, I try to express it and share with all Kayamita. That's why this Heart Sutra book, 2nd edition. In fact, it's the same sharing, but 2nd edition, like I wrote in the preface, is to improve on the format and all those things. But the basic explanation is the same. It's only the flow of language and some minor tidy up of the spelling mistake and all those things. So all this can actually help Kayamitas or cultivator of the way. So with this, I will move on. Okay. Okay, part 2. Oh, part 2 don't have. Part 3, meditation. Okay, this one is our second session, which normally after the meditation, the 45 minutes of meditation, we will have Q&A, meditation reporting, especially meditation questions which are very useful. That's why luckily it was recorded. Then Miss D have to do the draft. Then I go through and tidy up the thing. Then develop it into a format where we can share and develop the understanding together. Okay, the first question was, while cultivating mindfulness in daily life, I was able to be mindful most of the time when I'm going about living the normal life. So this one was, I think, asked by one of the Kayamita. I think, if I'm not wrong, if I may recall, is a man from Subang. I think it's Andy, don't know what, I forgot the surname already. Okay, anyway, I will read through the question again. According to him, he realized while cultivating mindfulness in daily life, he was able to be mindful most of the time when he was going about living the normal life. So what he say here, normal life, means when he got no problem in life. That's why when he got no problem in life, to him this is normal life, without stress, without problem. That's why he can be in that state of mindful living or heedful living, which is very good. But he realized when confronted with work-related and personal problems, I find it very difficult to maintain that heedfulness and realize that the same fear, worry, the same worry and fearful thoughts keep on coming back to haunt me. How can I overcome this? So this is a normal problem which is very common. So if you read the question carefully, you will realize this keyword that he said, when confronted with work-related problems or personal problem, doesn't this tell you that the bulk of life problem or issue is related to the First Noble Truth reality? Work-related means what? Life, career, or any activity that involve your career life. So within the career life, the work environment, there's a lot of office politics. There's a lot of things that can give rise to fear, worry, anxiety, sometimes stress. And this is very common, especially in our present day society. In fact, the younger generation people or era, our this younger generation of youth, career life is not easy, not that straightforward, because they arise in an era where they don't interact physically so much with fellow human beings. And most of the time they interact with the digital world, the handphone, the computer, or the chat and all those things. That's why their lifestyle is different. Then for our case, we also have our own problem, even my era. And this particular person who asked the question is only younger than me by not many years, I remember. So during our time, work-related issue is a lot more actually. You have a lot of not only office politics, that difficult office environment. Sometimes the bosses, they are also not easy because they expect what they pay you to be worth the salary that they pay you, and they demand a lot from the staff and the worker. And sometimes they got certain management skill which is not easy to endure. Management by fear and harassment, to force you to deliver, to force you to really work hard and contribute. Then when you are faced with problem situation, especially like what he experienced, work-related problem and personal problem, and they are mostly related to the First Noble Truth reality. Initially, maybe birth, old age, sickness, and death were not so clear until as they age and get older. But when it comes to stress, pressure, problems related to what they call your workload, when you cannot deliver. So that fear, the insecurity, or when you make mistake, it can trigger a lot of mental fear, worry, anxiety, leading to tremendous mental suffering. Then sometimes it may lead to suicidal thought, and that fear can intensify until they enter depression. Then sometimes it's relationship problem, separation, and many other career-related and personal life-related issue. When you are with people whom you don't like, when the office politics become very difficult to endure. So all these are common problems of humanity and mankind, especially those who have worked long enough. They have a lot of problems actually. Actually, even youngsters also. I have heard a lot of stories about those who have this type of problem, especially dealing with their own children. Some personally, they come and seek help and all these things. So through listening to them, talking to them, you will come across all this. Then how do you develop the understanding to stand above all this, so that you are not affected by what happened? Without the Dhamma, it's near to impossible. That's why the First Noble Truth of dukkha, really true. All this irreality, they are common to all humanity. That's why we call it the realities of life and existence. And this reality manifests everywhere, within society, within life, and within existence. So his question is very good. Okay, go back to the notes, then I answer, then you understand. So I answer him by telling him that this is a very good question. Yes, when there is no First Noble Truth reality to disturb us, cultivating mindfulness or leading to heedfulness in daily life can be fairly easy. But the challenge is when one is confronted with the First Noble Truth realities of birth, old age, sickness and death, threatening separation from loved ones and one's prized possession, etc., like work-related and personal, health, career, relationship and financial problem, etc. When you are confronted with all this First Noble Truth reality, can your mind still be calm and peaceful to cultivate the requisite heedfulness? Can you remain heedful, mindful, and stand above all this? This is most difficult, but it can be done if one has developed the appropriate wisdom to confront them with understanding. So maybe I will explain this a bit. Because when we are confronted with all this, can you remain mindful, heedful, and stay calm with the clarity of mind to understand what is going on, then to attend to things? Like I always said, whatever happens in life, don't panic, don't fear, don't develop the unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety. When you do that, it will not help you, because these are negative energy, negative mind state that make things worse. That's why, as I always share with you all, no matter what happens, don't get angry, don't become unhappy, don't be fearful. Always reflect into the teaching. What has the Buddha taught us? Learn to see things as they are. Accept the reality that manifests within the moment. Because causes and conditions are already there. And the flow of life or existence will be that way, cannot be otherwise. So there is no such thing as you want things your way, which is not nature's way. So understanding this, you will not get angry, you will not panic or worry or develop the unnecessary fear, worry and anxiety. Well, all these are negative mind states that will not help you. They will bring about suffering, mental suffering, leading to lower immunity and physical suffering. So all this understanding is very important. That's why I say the first thing we have to do is do not panic, do not fear, don't develop the unnecessary anger and hatred. Don't react towards what happened. Perceive it with wisdom. Accept them for what they are. Then reflect. When you don't react, you don't get angry, you don't get emotional, fearful, no fear, no worry, no anxiety, then that thought, that condition or this fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation will not arise. When they don't arise, and you have the wisdom to see things as they are and accept the reality of the moment, then you know how to act, you know how to live. Then you maintain a composed mind. Then you will have clarity. Where no fear, no worry, no anxiety means what? Your mind is calm, collected, just away. Then you inquire with that clear mind, without negativity of mind state, where all this fear, worry, anxiety, anger, emotion will not help you. They are negative mind state. They are wrong thoughts that condition your unnecessary mental suffering, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation, etc. So when you understand that this leads to suffering, then why you continue to behave that way? Panic, worry, stir, become emotional. No need. So to maintain that calm and peaceful mind through understanding is the real wisdom, the meditative understanding. You cannot do that. Your mind will stir, will react, and create all this negativity of mind state. That's how we develop the wisdom to apply to life. You cannot develop the wisdom to apply to life and overcome your so-called fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, and lamentation, and mental and physical suffering, then you have not developed the correct cultivation that can lead to the arising of the appropriate right Dhamma, to develop the wisdom needed for you to liberate your mind, to be at peace with all situations. So that is the challenging part. That's why the question I asked earlier was, under such situation, can you maintain mindfulness? Can you continue to be in the state of heedfulness? To develop the understanding of what is going on in life. If you don't react, don't stir, you don't create all the negativity of mind state, then you can be at peace. The moment you are at peace, you have clarity of mind. Then you can see things clearly. You can inquire what actually happened. And then the next step is, how can you act to resolve all this so-called life problem or situation amicably? So resolving all this is the wisdom part. So when we have the clarity of mind to see, then we inquire, under the teaching, what did the Buddha teach us? So that we can resolve all this amicably, so that we know how to act. So the only action that is appropriate according to the Buddha is the Fourth Noble Truth. Because the essence of his teaching is very beautiful. He explained to us the first noble truth of dukkha, the reality of life and existence, the eighth reality or condition that can manifest in life, which are common to all of humanity. Then when you confront them without wisdom, you suffer. And that is the noble truth. If you penetrate that, awaken to that, then it makes you noble one or enlightened one. That's why the first noble truth, the Buddha say, you need to contemplate, reflect, then develop the understanding of it. That's why this first noble truth of dukkha is to be understood. Yeah. So understanding it is very important. The eighth reality we need to constantly contemplate, reflect. Then we develop the clear understanding. Then we know how to act. And the way to act is, according to the Buddha, the first noble truth is for you to reflect, contemplate, and develop the understanding. That's why it's to be understood. When you understand, then you know what suffering is. Then the second noble truth, he proclaimed further, there is a cause behind all suffering. And the final summary is the five aggregates of grasping or clinging. The upadana khandhas, the grasping aggregate, means our five aggregate of form and mind, the so-called human being. Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vidyanam. You grasp and cling and hold on to it deludedly, then it gives rise to suffering. So the final summary of the First Noble Truth is very powerful. In short, the Buddha said, it is due to our Sakayaditi, self-delusion, that condition us to grasp and cling on to this five aggregate of formula as the I and the me as real. That's why that self-delusion manifests and trigger suffering. So if you know what is suffering and the cause behind it, then at least you can mitigate it. You can manage your life better. Then after that, the third noble truth, the Buddha says, suffering need not be. Enlightenment in the here and the now. Developing the wisdom to be free from all suffering can be realized. Means there is such thing as the unconditioned. If there is no such thing as the unconditioned, then liberation from the conditioned world is impossible. That's why the third noble truth will give you the understanding that there is a solution. Because he said suffering need not be when you have developed this enlightenment. Then the fourth noble truth is the answer or the solution. The Buddha said, not only he said it's possible to end suffering, not to be afflicted, but he said there is a path, namely the Noble Eightfold Path. If you cultivate it, it will lead to the end of all suffering. So this Noble Eightfold Path is the meditation, is the cultivation that you need to develop. When you cultivate this Noble Eightfold Path, it will lead to the end of all suffering. That's why suffering need not be. It can end all suffering. And this Noble Eightfold Path, when put into practice with understanding and wisdom, really liberates the mind. It's not just the absence of suffering. The absence of suffering is not Nibbana. A lot of people get it wrong. They say the absence of suffering is Nibbana. Maybe sound logical, but it's not the truth. Because when you radiate metta, when you have joy, do you suffer? Do you have suffering? No, isn't it? Is that Nibbana? No, it's just a joyful mind state, tranquil, peaceful mind state, where you develop the joy, the excitement, the love, the various mind state that make you good, feel good. And the absence of suffering is not Nibbana, not enlightenment. Nibbana is the complete cessation of suffering when wisdom has been realized. And that one is irreversible for the former mind. When you have awakened, you will not fall again. That's why wisdom is very unique, very strange. When you cultivate it, when you realize it and awaken to it, it's never lost. Because the former mind that realizes it will develop the awakening and the realization. Then it's connected to our former mind. That's why the wisdom, the understanding is within our nature. You cannot lose touch of it. So all these are very beautiful understanding. Then after that, we need to really find out what is this Noble Eightfold Path. And why did the Buddha say you cultivate this, you have the embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path factor, then you can be free from all suffering. It will lead to the end of all suffering. That's why you look at the teaching. Then you go through the teaching, one by one, all the 8 path factors. First one is right view, right understanding of life, the secret of life. Have you developed that? So this right view with regards to three very important, powerful spiritual laws need to be understood. First is the law of karma, the law of mind, and the law of truth. So in Pali we call it karma niyama, chitta niyama, and Dhamma niyama. When you have this, means you understand the nature's spiritual law that governs life and existence. So when you understand this through the teaching as taught by the Buddha, then you develop wisdom. And the first one, karma niyama, is how the teaching started. The Buddha, under the 5 daily contemplation, lead us to the initial basic understanding, or we call it the initial wisdom, needed to overcome our first noble truth delusion, or first noble truth reality that can condition suffering. The first three is related to our physical body, to break free from sakkayaditthi. That's why he said we have to contemplate every day. This body of ours is of the nature to grow old, get sick, and finally to die. For it goes the way of nature. It has not gone beyond old age, sickness, and death. Where these are physical body, make out of the 4 elements, goes the way of nature, follow nature's law. And when you understand this, then you realize this form and mind, or the so-called human being, is not a permanent unchanging entity. It's not you. It's dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. When causes and condition comes together, then it manifests. That's why it's dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena, karmically conditional for us to arise within the existential world. So when you understand this, then you will not cling to this physical body. That's why old age, sickness, and death, even birth, will not affect you. Because this is not you. That's what the Buddha realized underneath the Bodhi tree. Then the worldly problem, the so-called suffering that living being cling onto, grasps onto, is in fact a delusion. Without sakkayaditthi, self-delusion, you will not cling, you will not grasp. But this is just a vehicle and a tool for us to come. So use it and understand that it's not a permanent unchanging entity. He know you, he know me. That you can use it, and yet with the understanding, you do not suffer. It's so beautiful, isn't it? That's why the first 3 contemplation can really let you develop the wisdom and the understanding not to be affected or afflicted when you go through the reality of this physical body, experiencing the birth, then getting old, getting sick, and finally die, even injury. Because you know the body is the body, the mind is the mind. The two are different, and they are not a permanent unchanging entity. It's not you. It's karmically conditional, a vehicle and tool for you to come. This one go the way of nature. So when you understand all this, then you can contemplate, develop the understanding, and develop the wisdom not to be afflicted. Then number 4 is a common problem, separation. All this, our loved ones, our prized possession, our wealth, our property, the thing that you hold on to dearly, which you believe you own, they will separate from you one day. Either you separate from them when your breath is no more, when conditions cease to be, then your form and mind separate. And in our society, we call it death, death. Actually, no one died. Nothing died, the more precise word. So understanding this is very important, because our form and mind is just a dependent originating entity, a phenomenon. It's the consciousness trapped inside with the sense basis and the life force that come and animate his form and mind. Then if we deludedly and gullibly cling onto it, grasp onto it, and believe that this is what we are, then suffering is the result. So separation is a reality. Separation can happen in many ways, like I have explained before. Sometimes through nature's condition, like death caused by nature's disaster, or nature's condition. It can be sometimes due to war, riot, natural disaster, or even kidnapping, accident, or whatever. Then the other separation is relationship problem. You separate because difference of opinion, difference of view, out of jealousy, hatred, the love no more, then they decide to divorce or separate. Then sometimes through suffering, it manifests those conditions. Then sometimes not only relationship failure, when you are with people whom you don't like, the bullies and all those things, people who are difficult for us to endure or live with, like a lot of cases of step-parents, then abuses by people taking advantage of situation and all those things. So all this can manifest. Then after that, we also learn about separation through the various other causes and conditions that manifest within real life, existence itself. So all this, they are in the First Noble Truth Reality teaching. Then after this first four, which handle most of the First Noble Truth Reality, you can develop the initial wisdom to actually free your mind. But the fifth daily contemplation is the most important. That one teaches you how to understand life and live life. The Buddha said, all living beings, not only us, we are all born our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. We are what we are because of our karma. So when you listen to this, which the Buddha asks us to contemplate every day, then what must you do? You will come to the realization that all of your life, each and every one of us, depended so much on this nature's law of karma, because we are born of it, heir to it, conditioned and supported by it, and we are what we are because of that coming law, the law of karma. So if you don't take care of karma, then your life will become miserable, because you are born of it. Then there is also the saying, you do good begets good, do evil begets evil. You cultivate the causes and conditions for wholesomeness and goodness to arise, then you reap the fruit of wholesomeness, goodness and virtue. But if you commit all the evil, negativity of mind states that have the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion, then suffering will follow you. Yeah. Means you plant the seed of evil, you reap the fruit of evil. And this one is also emphasized by the Buddha under Dhammapada verse 1 and 2, the twin verse. So he said, knowing this right view in regards to a law of karma, you must intend on heedfulness so that you will not become heedless. Then you will act, speak and think with a wholesome mind, with a virtuous mind that is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. Then happiness will follow you like the shadow that never leaves you. So this understanding is very important. That is the beginning of cultivation. The teachings start by saying we need to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. Then we need to chant the salutation to the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. We need to pay respect, all those things. This is to develop affinity with Triple Gem. Then after that, based on the law of karma, we need to take care of karma. How do we take care of karma? Based on the fifth contemplation, means you need to avoid all evil, do good, and purify your mind. And this is the advice of all Buddha. Dhammapada verse 183. Sabba papasa akaranang kusalesa upasambadan sachitta pariyodapadang etang buddhana sasana. So when you understand all this, then you know how to cultivate. Then how do we avoid all evil? That's why the prescribed teaching is keep the minimum 5 precepts. Where these constitute major evil, you violate them. So keeping the precept is out of love and compassion for you, the living being, not to make life difficult for you. So out of love and compassion for living being, the Buddha advised them to keep the precept. That's why every time the morning chanting or whatever spiritual activity or Dhamma session, we will have the Puja, where we chant the salutation to the Buddha, take the refuges, then we renew our precept. Renewing precept is very important. That is the first step to avoid all evil. So to keep the precept, we need to train our mind to be mindful, stabilize it to be ever mindful, so that we can undertake the training rule to abstain from all this wrong action, speech and thought process. And this is how we start avoiding all evil. Then when it comes to doing good or cultivating virtue, then we need to understand the 4 right efforts as taught in the Noble Eightfold Path. So that right view will condition us to have right thought, right speech, right action. Then you have to contemplate what constitutes right action, right speech, and right thought. So action, speech, and thought process is the basis of our action and communication, and the basis for living being to arise, their moral causation that bring forth the karmic implication. So when you understand this, without right view, you cannot act, you cannot speak and think correctly. That's why right view is the first path factor. Right view in regards to what? The law of karma. That's why you won't break. Then the law of mind, how you function as a human being. Then the law of truth, especially the Four Noble Truths, which explain clearly to us the secret of life. And when you understand the secret of life, you know how to live life. You can free your mind from suffering. And that's how it's all linked, related. So when you develop the ability to avoid all evil by keeping the precept, then cultivating the what they call right thought, right speech, and right action, and the way to live your life, right livelihood, through the four right effort, then you will know how to develop all the virtuous thought, the virtuous action and speech, which is free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Then you develop wholesomeness, merits. And these are like your spiritual wealth, spiritual money that can help you, that can be of use in time of need. You can invoke power of merits for causes and conditions, for things to arise, to manifest, to overcome whatever problem or suffering, bring about causes and conditions for you to reverse all this karmic obstruction or karmic negativity that you have planted from the past or developed through ignorance and delusion in the past. So all these are very clear-cut cultivation. So the Noble Eightfold Path after that is to develop the right sati and samadhi. So sati is when you cultivate, you need to develop mindfulness, stabilize it to be ever mindful, then use it to meditate, to see things as they are, to awaken. That's why sati and samadhi will fall into place. And this is how the Noble Eightfold Path can actually transform the living being and bring forth the wisdom, enlightenment to allow us to understand life and live life. Then we will get to develop the understanding of life so that we can really live the third phase of Dhamma, which is Pativeda, the life of an enlightened being. So all these are the explanation. Okay, now we go back to the notes. Just now we are at the last paragraph. Okay. 3.1, last paragraph. So, like I explained, when you are confronted with the First Noble Truth reality, can you still maintain the peace and the calmness to cultivate the requisite heedfulness which I have explained? So this is most difficult, but can be done if one has developed the appropriate cultivation and wisdom to confront them with right understanding. So all this I have explained. Then the last paragraph also I have explained, which I summarize here. This is the reason why the Buddha constantly advised the bhikkhu to reflect on the 5 daily contemplation and to strive on with heedfulness to arise the much needed wisdom to overcome all these First Noble Truth realities. So this is what the teaching is all about. Then the 5 daily contemplation I have already listed down, so you can read it. I just quickly go through. The first one is linked towards the second and third. Maybe I'll read them together. Our body is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die, for it has not gone beyond old age, sickness and death. So this is the first 3. Then the fourth one is, all of our loved ones, wealth, property and other prized possessions, etc., or things that we hold on to dearly, they will one day separate from us, or we will separate from them when our entity is erased or when our breath stops. Then number 5, this is the great law of karma, and is also the first right view that we must develop or have to begin our cultivation. The Buddha said, each and every one of us, including all living beings, we are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma, and we are what we are because of our karma. This is the great law of karma. Since karma is so important, we must all take care of our karma. We are avoiding all evil, do good, and purifying our mind, which is the advice of all Buddhas. to develop the strong affinity, the karmic affinity and strong karmic nature, to bring about the good life every time we choose to come. Every time we come or we choose to come. We come means have to come through the law of karma. 9:46 already. Okay, we stop here. Okay, we mark this page. So now we come back to the second session, which is meditation, reporting, followed by whatever question you may have, so that we can discuss the Dhamma together. Today's topic is very important, very meaningful and beautiful. So we can also discuss it if we want.
Good evening, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and all Kayamitas.
Yes.
Brother Teo, today's sharing very good.
Very good, huh? Sadhu.
Yes. Yes, it summarized the essential Dhamma.
Yeah, the essential Dhamma.
Yeah, and
all
it's
the
very important, especially for me, the new
Yeah.
calculator.
Yes, it will help you a lot. And for you to have the understanding means you have developed the progress. Otherwise, not easy. And this is a very complete summary. And you listen to it again and again.
Yes.
And make some notes. All the cultivation that is needed will go in. Then when you are able to actually put it into practice and develop the cultivation, you will progress very fast, especially for you and Chan. You all have developed the bowing, the daily mindfulness, all those things. You maintain that momentum of daily mindfulness, then your understanding will unfold and you will progress very fast. Then just do the awareness-based meditation to stabilize your awareness. Then the understanding will unfold by itself. When you are mindful and heedful, the understanding will arise. You will insight into phenomena, you will understand the words, and they become clear by themselves. They say the Dhamma is pachitang, but you need to have heedfulness, that's it. And to be heedful, you need to be ever mindful, constantly meditating, means constantly cultivating this Noble Eightfold Path, starting with right view, then right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and the four right effort, followed by right sati and samadhi. And all this can bring forth the great progress. Sadhu to you. Very good.
I have one question.
Okay.
Brother, you got teach us about these four circles. The first circle is oneness nature, the true nature. Is that refers to Nibbana as well?
Nibbana is on the first circle. The so-called oneness circle and the oneness nature, the true nature, original nature, whatever, some call it the singularity or whatever. That is the unconditioned. So the unconditioned is, normally they call it the original nature, because it's the, means originally it was already like that. Because it's unconditioned. You cannot describe it or talk about it, because that's why some call it the original nature. Then the scientists like to use the word singularity. Well, from that singularity, everything starts. That's why they come out with the Big Bang theory or something. So the singularity is another word for the oneness nature. Actually, the whole nature is already there. That's why we call it the primordial, before the arising of creation or thing. That is the first to be there. So that pure awareness nature that come out from there is a very unique understanding. But that one, okay, before I go into the description, what is your question first regarding the four circle, the four circle formation that describe creation? How creation come about? How living being arise? Living being means not only human being, all the beings that exist within the 31 plane and beyond.
Actually, I was a bit confused because Nibbana was a state of mind.
No, it's not a
No,
state of mind.
it's not
It's
a
the
state of mind.
cessation of form and mind. When our mundane mind, our physical form, completely cease, but the form and mind is not the unconditioned. The form and mind is actually the phenomenal arising of the so-called living being, and for our case is the human being. So that one is a conditioned arising entity or phenomena. So when we talk about realization of Nibbana, which is enlightenment, means the form and mind completely cease. Even the pure awareness inside also cease. Then that form and mind that went into that cessation is not a being. It's the mundane mind that realizes itself through wisdom cease. And when that cessation happens, if it's nibbanic conditioning or experience that can manifest from it, then that pure awareness also ceases. Otherwise, the pure awareness is always there. Well, the pure awareness is the first to come out. That's why I say the second circle is the pure awareness nature. It's a nature, it's not a being. That one is actually the primordial, the first thing to come out from it. Then when that one ceases, then only you can, the word return may not be the appropriate word because nothing return. There is no being to return. But that pure awareness will cease when the condition is there for that form and mind to go through that realization. That's why I don't call it an experience. It's not a mind. It's not a state of mind. So hopefully later on, as you cultivate, you will understand. Well, when you are completely just aware without thought, there is still an awareness. You realize? But without the thinking, without the thought. And that is not Nibbana. But that is a pure mind. A pure state of mind without its content, which is a very good state to be in. Because we call it the pure thought, without the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. So to arise a pure thought or a pure mind is not easy. You must have wisdom, otherwise that thing cannot stay the way it is. That's why the free mind that is without thought, that is your true mind, your silent mind. We call it our pure awareness nature. It's just a nature, and that one is tranquility, stillness, peace, and it's very difficult to develop understanding unless the cultivator goes through that realization. Then for Nibbana to arise, the wisdom must be stable enough to develop the understanding to free the mind so that there is completely no suffering, nothing. Then that mind that has the wisdom will realize itself and cease. It will, like what I share with you all, you will reach a point where you know this mundane creation, the mundane thinking, no reality. Think also like that, don't think also like that. Where everything is just dependent, originating, condition arising. So you will not hold on, you will not grasp on. Then when you cannot hold and cannot grasp, it becomes the unconditioned, then it just ceases. Then the pure awareness also ceases. Then that thing that happened, that cessation, is called Nibbana. But that one you cannot talk about it because it's not a mind, it's not a thought. That's why it's the unconditioned. But the strange thing is, if that beings that goes in to that state or realize that state. It's not a mind state that realize that so-called Nibbana manifestation. That one, if it's not time for them to parinibbana and cease, then it can still come out. It can still come out. Then when it come out, you will see the four circle formation. How from there, the first thing to arise is the pure awareness nature, like what I described. Then from there, how the thought arise, the thinking arise, the mundane mind. Why the Buddha call it mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arise, all things arise. And that one, if you happen to have the causes and conditions to go in and then come out, you will understand the whole creation. Then you will come to understand beautifully, all this while, it was just like that. But living being cannot understand. Then you will know the form of mind is not you. Then everything is just that understanding. That's why that pure awareness nature is a nature, it's not a being. It cannot come out and live like. That's why there is no atta, it's not a permanent unchanging entity. So all those things, the one that goes through the cessation and come out, the form and mind will understand. Then no more sakkayaditi. That's why the first factor of self-delusion, severe, rooted out, no more. Then it cannot believe what people say already. The right and ritual, then the faith in the triple gem, unshakable already. Then as they continue to develop the cultivation, then when they move on to the more refined state of mind, then they will know how to root out sensual desire and ill will. That's how they realize the first stage of sainthood, second stage of sainthood, where they attenuate the sensual desire and ill will. Then anagami is the stage where they root out sensual desire and ill will. There is no more delusion with regards to sensual desire, and no more delusion with getting angry, emotional, fearful and other things. No more. Means envy, jealousy, anger, emotion, all this cease already, rooted out already. It cannot, nothing can make them go that way anymore. So all this understanding will unfold. Then the last 5 fetters, you need to realize arahantaship, means the wisdom to break the last 5 fetters, which are attachment to form jhana, attachment to the formless jhana, then mana, minor conceit, then restlessness of mind, then finally is ignorant, avijja, the complete rooting out of ignorance. Means sakkayaditi is one aspect of ignorance. But when you understand the other spiritual law, the law of mind, law of truth, then this ignorance, which is avijja, ignorance of the truth that governs life and existence, also rooted out. Once that thing happens, then the form and mind will realize arahantaship. Then technically no more rebirth to ignorant avijja. When the time comes for them to cease, they will realize nibbana. Then they will not go through the rebirth consciousness that have avijja. No, because the wisdom is already there. You will understand all those later on as you go through. So have faith.
I think for now, I have to be more diligent in my cultivation of daily mindfulness. Daily mindfulness.
Yes,
because
very important. Stabilize that, then it will give rise to a lot of wonderful understanding and very amazing type of awakening and understanding. Then on your own, you will have the joy and what they call Dhamma joy, after you develop the understanding, then you realize, oh, this is so beautiful. This is the only thing that can bring forth the clear understanding, and the mind can really be completely liberated and free, not affected at all, no matter what happened in life, existence. And you know the thought is the thought, not real. The thought is just manifestation. And the thought has its own duality and all those funny movement. That's why all the mind state, the emotion, the views, the opinion, condition, all this pertain to the mundane thinking mind, the mano. Whereas the true mind, the silent, the pure awareness nature has none of all those. That's why all those that manifest through delusion, they will cease. And they will not have any power over you after your wisdom dawns and develops. Then when that wisdom is understood, realized, then that form and mind completely liberated and free. Then the phenomenal world of consciousness and form will have no more power over the form and mind, because they cannot deceive them anymore, they cannot delude them anymore. Their mundane mind will not go the old way, it can never be heedless anymore. Then that transformation and the understanding, the awakening, the way it happens is so beautiful. Then the way it manifests as a living reality, that is the most beautiful. That's why they call it wonderful existence. So all this, only the one that go through the cultivation can have the understanding. That's why the Dhamma is pacetang veditabbo vinohiti, can only be realized by the wise, each for themselves.
Actually, now, Prabhupada, when I develop my daily mindfulness, some of the tasks I cannot do multitask already.
You don't worry. You when you have the understanding, it's like you cannot multitask already.
Yeah.
But you are more efficient and faster than the one that do multitask. Where there is clarity, and you know everything is just within the moment. And within the moment, where your nature is just awareness, it can be aware of the whole activity and movement, understand or not? But you know, each and every one is a separate one. But because your awareness is the oneness, that's why when it's spacious awareness, you don't have to do anything. All the activity and movement, you want to know, you can know. That is the efficiency. Then you do things all very efficient one, and you see things very clearly one. Other people cannot see one, cannot understand one. And you also will be amazed. How come like that one? That you can see the delusion in normal living being. Because normal living being, they think a lot. Their pure awareness is being distracted, like clouded by all the emotion, the thought, the fear, the worry, the anxiety, the excitement, and the reaction to sense experience, the stirring, the views, opinion. All these are very active inside there. And because of that, it's so stressful, suffering. And they don't have clarity on it. The mind cannot be silent, cannot be quiet. And they cannot see things as they are. Means they don't know what is happening in life. Most of the time they are lost in thought, reacting, stirring, doing all those funny things, planning, worry, then developing all the envy, jealousy, the heedless thinking, the verbalization. All these are like rubbish in the mind. They only manifest through wrong thought. Otherwise they won't. Then that type of life is very heedless and stressful. That's why they suffer a lot. and their energy all drained into the thought process. That's why when you worry and think a lot, you look very haggard on. Your face
It's
look
true.
very
It's
stressed
true.
on.
Before I learned this Dhamma, I used to have a lot of thoughts
Yeah, a
thinking
lot of
in my,
thought
yeah, a lot of thoughts. It's
on.
really draining the
Draining
energy.
your energy
Yes.
and make
Yeah.
you miserable. That's why it's stressful. We use the word stressful. The mind that cling on to all this is really heedless and so stressful. But now it's so light, like, hey, like nothing inside there at all. And you can feel the joy, the peace, the tranquility, the stillness. And everything is just the way it is. Without those thoughts haunting you and disturbing you, you realize life can be very meaningful, very beautiful. And there is so much joy. There are a lot of things are not worth thinking on, like the newspaper. 90% of the news is not important one. You only have the understanding to see what is useful, can serve mankind, bring about wholesomeness, kindness, goodness, virtuous thought and activity. Then the rest, all the rubbish that bring about suffering and karmic negativity, you cannot do already on. That's why that transformation is so like amazingly clear and beautiful. Then you realize, oh, no wonder the Buddha said, without the Dhamma is really suffering, ignorance, sakkayaditthi, self-delusion. All this create a lot of suffering. And when you start to develop the understanding and see all this, you have a lot of joy within. And the form and mind that have that realization is so beautiful. Very good, Sadhu, Wai Fun. Now at least you can see the difference. Because after you go through this type of mindfulness cultivation, you can see and you can follow what I try to share with you.
Actually, every day when I do my daily mindfulness, actually there are three chores which I can really silence my mind. Number one is
Sadhu.
when I prepare breakfast
Very
with
good.
tea, I can silence my mind.
Very,
Then
very
another
good.
one is when I wash clothes. When I
very
wash
good.
my clothes, I can silence my mind.
Very, very good.
The third one will be when I fold my clothes. Folding after the clothes. During
These are the
the
activity that will
yes,
anchor your mindfulness. Because
yeah,
you no need to like other people while doing all this worry here, worry there. The thought keep on coming and haunt them on like unfinished activity, worry about the children, worry about their welfare, then worry about our career, our loved one, everything. And there are so many things that the thought lashes on. That's why there is no peace. That's why to be mindful is not easy. Without the Dhamma understanding and wisdom, mindfulness cannot happen. Because the mundane mind actually think a lot, worry a lot. Because without wisdom, it project and develop all the unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety, insecurity, sorrow, lamentation, all the negativity of mind state. And these are habitual reaction to sense experience. See something, hear something, recall something, the mind react already, panic already. So all this, as you develop the cultivation, you can see, you can reflect and recall to memories of what happened. Then you see the big difference after you have developed the training of the mind through the Dhamma cultivation, pure awareness base and daily mindfulness, the stability. You see the mind has transformed and become so different. And you will never go back to the old way after that.
yeah, true.
Very true, Sadhu.
Yeah, true. And then very often when I fold the clothes, I can aware the pulse
Wow, sadhu, the
Pulse
vibration,
behind,
everything.
the pulse.
Sadhu.
Sometimes before this I never know that actually they are pulse all over our
Yeah,
body.
all over your whole body.
Now
Yeah,
now it's
sadhu.
like behind my back, I can feel it.
Yeah, you can feel that.
Behind
Then
the
when you lie down,
elbow.
also very clear, especially
Yes,
when
yes.
you are resting. Wow, the vibration is everywhere. Then all this vibration will slow down, and become more and more refined, then quiet. Then it become very, very tranquil and still. That is the most beautiful. Then that time your mind will start to enter sati. Then when your mind enters sati, this mindfulness will take over. No? Everything you do is in sati. No? Then the time you realize you're seeing a specific phenomenal awareness. No? The awareness and the phenomenon move as one. No? It's not like last time. As you see, you perceive, you think, you react, no more already. The mind become like when you fold your clothes. Very quiet, very peaceful.
Yes, yes.
Silent. Sadhu. Very good. Oh, joy. Rejoice.
Actually very beautiful,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this
Uh,
cultivation.
Cultivation. That's
Yes.
why mindfulness base is very different from thought base. When it arises, the person going through will understand on. Because these are the things happen. And the transformation there and then. That's why you can see the result. The what they call, you reap the fruit of your hard work. Then you will never go back to the old heedless way.
Yeah,
And this,
I
uh,
remember one of the Tuesday Brother Till sharing about
uh,
also daily mindfulness.
mm,
Then you mentioned prioritize our cultivation, do mindfulness, develop
yes,
sati first
yes,
as the
sadhu,
very
very
basic
good.
step number one.
When
So
you do that, don't try to know, don't worry
yes,
about you have done it correctly or you are
yeah.
progressing. Forget about it, you just do your mindfulness. When the mindfulness come, everything come. Without mindfulness, the thought will take over and do a lot of those funny, what they call thinking. And the thinking process sometimes can create doubt one, and ask a lot of verbalized questions. Am I doing it correct? Is this what
Oh,
Brother Teo say? Is this what the
true,
Buddha
Brother
mean?
Till.
All this will
after
surface on. But when you
after
just
I
do until the sati come,
mm,
you realize, hey, how come now no more like last time? Then all the questions self-answered. And you will understand them. The only thing you want to ask is the more refined aspect of the understanding, which you are asking now, is very good. Then when I explain, the thing become clearer and clearer, clearer and clearer. And this will help a lot of other cultivators also.
in
Then,
in
uh, yeah, you continue. Yeah.
yeah, okay. In fact, after listening to Brother Teo sharing that they asked us
Mm.
to prioritize developing sati as our
Yes.
main cultivation
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
I really wonder and ask myself whether I've done it correctly or not. But then
Ah. Uh,
after a few days, one morning when I woke up, I have this
uh,
suddenly this understanding. Master Hui Neng just pound rice for a few years, just do it.
Correct,
Don't take
sadhu.
so much.
Yeah, because his mind is without the mundane
Uh,
thinking. And he
yeah.
just do it with joy because he know to be heedful and to be aware is that true mind's cultivation. And whatever he do, even pounding rice, working in the kitchen, chopping firewood, is all with mindfulness, joy. And the mind is so beautiful. It's not the hot type of mud, no, they run around and react and stir and create all the arguments, unnecessary, what they call insecurity, fear, wrong view and wrong way of interacting with society, with humanity and with nature, the environment, etc. Then you realize there is peace all around
Yes.
with everything within existence. And that is the most beautiful. And you realize you will have more and more joy after that, more and more peace, tranquility, stillness. Because most of the time you are just aware, aware. And the Dhamma become like very easy to understand, very clear, and you can follow. Very good.
I still have a long way to go, brother.
Don't worry.
Not
Don't worry.
stabilized yet.
Yeah, but that is a good sign, the good beginning. And this is not really a beginning already. For cultivator to reach even the stage you are in is not easy. Most of them cannot stabilize until what you are going through. Most of them do for a while, excited. Then after that, go back to the old way. Then they realize they lost their ability to be mindful again. Then that is what I call complacency. Don't be complacent. You must do it until like badminton or the game, until you become very skillful. It become a part of you, and then only you can maybe take for granted and no need to like throughout the day cultivate already. I remember when I was doing it 86 to 89, I did it for that 2-3 years non-stop. Then until the sati become a part of me, then I was throughout the day mindful, aware. Then I went through all those transformations. Then later on when I met my last guide, I moved like a bullet train very fast. Because once he told me where the gateway is, I silent and go in. Because I already have the ability to be relaxed, aware, and silent to develop the stability. Then when I go to the heart where he told me, he said, just silent. I said, that one I already done. Stay at the heart. Then he just activate that point for me. Then immediately I went in. My yin-yang energy all flow in. That's why, in a way, it was because of my adhittana, my strong affirmation that whenever my nature arises, my nature wants to realize the highest wisdom, the highest understanding. And that's why my last guide has to come and show me this one, so that I save at least 10 to 15 years. Otherwise, I have to find out on my own. And it requires at least 10 to 15 years if I have not have a guide like him. But because of my adhittana, my special vow, my second last teacher say, I have a very heavy adhittana, a very heavy vow. And the moment he said that, I told her I know what that thing is. Because this life also I make that vow. Whenever my nature arises, I want to develop the highest wisdom and understanding possible. That's why I don't restrict my understanding to just the Buddhist teaching or Theravada or Mahayana teaching. My nature is open to all understanding, especially from that nature. So that one actually you have to do the fourth support. Then because I met him, that thing happened. Then my Monday mind collapsed within 9 months, and that speed up the cultivation by a lot. Then I inherited from my past cultivation. Then a lot of the things that I never cultivate this life came back to me. That's why I understand them there and then. Then all this manifestation, then I realized, how come the understanding is like that, so different? And a lot of the things I never learned this life, but I know how to apply them. I know how to teach people. That's why finally, when the message came 2008 from Maitreya, then I knew what that instruction was. Please transmit the real Dhamma. And I also know there are two parts. The first is the true, pure teaching of the Buddha, the Theravada tradition, the basic essential Dhamma. Then the second one is the unique Bodhisattva way that my nature has developed the understanding and the realization. Then how, when my last guide showed me the gateway, then how I developed the cultivation and transformation, and how I can speed up a lot of Kayamita's cultivation by teaching them the fourth support. And in fact, a lot of Kayamita can do it already, the gateway. And all this is the result of that aditana, the pure affirmation of truth, or that very strong determination, affirmation. And when this one manifests, it is from the understanding and the vow and our merits and wholesomeness. That's why all this, when they move, they are a very powerful force. And we call it the cultivator's nature's movement. And they are ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. That's why all these are very beautiful sharing that is possible because we are in the sasana. And with this sasana, there are still a lot of possibility because the great beings' nature, they are everywhere. They are ever radiating for the cultivator of the way. That's why you must have that stability of daily mindfulness. Then your affinity with them, then you draw. And you will develop the understanding, the wisdom, the progress. So all this, very beautiful. So Wai Fun, thank you so much for the good question and the good condition. All this sharing can help a lot of people. Even though it can benefit you and John especially, because you are in the beginning phase where all these are very useful, and it will give you the faith, the strength, and that what they call resolve to go this way, because you see it so clearly, so beautiful. And this is the most precious gift for this segmented life of yours and Chan, because this one money cannot buy. This type of causes and condition and wisdom, money cannot buy. It's a very rare gem. That's why you must make the affirmation, the yellow card vow. Life after life, you must have all this understanding. Whenever you come, you choose to come or you have to come, you must have this understanding. And when you make the affirmation with understanding, sincerity and faith, it will activate the Bodhi seed, the Bodhi mind. When you come again in the future, it will be activated. Even this life, you all, after the condition arise, you met me and you all move very fast, where it's from the past, just like this life. Then when you make all those affirmation, in future, you come, you will meet out with the causes and conditions, and you will progress even faster. Then maybe in future, you can also come into contact with the Dhamma earlier. Then the cultivation can take off much, much earlier. Like this life actually is because of my past. Otherwise, I cannot be looking for Dhamma and for this thing. The moment I was in Form 4 and Form 5, I got no problem in life that time. Life was to me good. But then the mind will know how to probe one now. Then when the first day I arrived at the university, somebody will suggest to me and ask me to join him and go to this science faculty. I remember one of the lecture theater there, where it's big enough to accommodate quite a few hundred students. So Kesri Dhammananda was there. So all this cannot be a coincidence or chance. It's like meant to be. Then immediately after I listened to the talk, I got so excited and happy. I go and ask for the address, everything. Then I rejoiced and I came back to the college, the room. Then I want to meditate, but I scared my roommate haven't slept yet. So I lie down in the bed, wait for him to sleep. Then middle of the night, 12 o'clock, I wake up and I sat on the floor. And that sitting to me was like half an hour. But surprisingly, when I look at my watch, I was 4 hours sitting down there, 4 a.m. And my whole mind transformed. Like the mind becomes so different. Where I went into the formless rhyme, the infinite space. The mind travel out into infinite space. Then after that, it withdraw. To me, it was maybe maximum half an hour. But after I came out, I looked at the watch, 4 o'clock, 4 hours inside there. And my mind transformed until completely still, no thought, nothing. And it happened for almost 2 weeks. Then I was full of joy. But for the first time, my mind became so quiet, so still, and so full of this type of stillness energy. So all this, that's why it can happen. Then after that, somehow I go to temple, I go to whatever retreat. I know what to do. I don't need, technically, I don't need the teacher to teach me. I listen, then I do my own. So a lot of these things you will come to understand later on. That's why from this line, you make the correct affirmation, everything, follow the yellow card. Then in future, when you come, you will have causes and conditions that are very much better than now. And you will progress very fast. Then before the maybe next sasana, you will become very, very skillful and very advanced in your cultivation. Very good. Wai Fun, sadhu.
Thank you, Brother
Thank you,
Teo, for
thank
your
you. Yeah,
explanation and
rejoice.
encouragement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will help you all and a lot of Kalyana. So this Sunday, so hope to
Yes.
see you all.
Yeah, we will attend this
Yeah,
Sunday.
sadhu, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, let us rejoice with the good sharing, the good question. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us share merits. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa chirang rakantu loka sasana Ittawata camihi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo Devo asadukalena sasa sampati hito cha fito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.